Hi everybody, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make a puzzle cube part in Inventor. This model is relatively easy to make. It just takes a couple tips and tricks and knowledge of how to use the Autodesk Inventor Professional program. I will show you two methods of modeling, and that's how to use the Additive Method and the Subtractive Method to create your part. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here to my Quick Access toolbar and open up a new part file. Once I do that, you're going to see a blank viewport window, graphics window otherwise, and you're going to click on Start 2D Sketch. This will bring up three different planes, your XY, your YZ, and your XZ, and this corresponds to different views in your viewport, so front, top, and right side view. I typically like working with the XY plane because that corresponds to my front view, so I will click on this to start. Now, as I'm making my puzzle cube, I'm working off a model that I've already created, and that means that each one of my cubes is 0.75 inches. So if I say that this block, this piece is 3 cubes tall, that gives me a total height of 2.25 inches. My width here is 0.75. It goes down again 0.5 inches, and then we have a block over here that we're going to take into consideration. That'll be 0.75 inches, so on and so forth. So I'll go to my line tool, and what I like to do is I like to trace out the general shape of my object first. Notice I'm not paying attention to any dimensions. I can do that later. So I'll go up here to dimension. I'll dimension my largest dimension first, which is right here, and type in 2.25 and press enter. Now the way that I did that was I went up here to dimension, I clicked on my line, I dragged my extension lines down, I clicked again, and for this I have a width of 2 blocks, so I'm going to type in 1.5 inches and press enter. I'll do it again, my dimension is still selected. Click on this line, drag out the extension line, click again, type in your dimension, press enter. Click on your line, drag out the extension line, click, type in your dimension, press enter. That should be 1.5, and then this should also be 0.75. Great. Once you have that done, I'm going to right click and say Finish 2D Sketch, and I am going to add a feature. Now my feature for this part is going to be an extrusion. If you hover over any one of these features in Inventor, it actually gives you a quick tutorial of how to use it, and it also gives you a resource of how to find more help if you need more assistance by pressing F1. So I'm going to click on Extrude. It's going to automatically select my profile for me. And since I'm going to show you how to use the additive method, I'm going to just extrude this 0.75 inches and add on another block right here. And I'll say OK. So now I know in this piece, I have a block that's coming out of the front. So I'm going to go to Start 2D Sketch and figure out which plane I want to build from. And I know this block is coming out of this face, so I'm going to click on this face to start a new 2D sketch. From here, I can go to my rectangle tool, align it with the top right corner. You'll see that there's a little circle that shows up as green. That means that it's snapping there. I'll click and drag out a rectangle that snaps to 0.75 and 0.75, which are my desired dimensions, and click. So notice this will make a square that has lines on all 4 sides. Once I'm satisfied with my drawing, I can right-click, say Finish 2D Sketch, go up here to Extrude, and it will extrude my box 0.75 inches, and say OK. And now these two parts are the same, which looks great. Now I'm going to take a couple steps back and show you how you can make the same part using the subtractive method. So here I added material, I added on a block. That's the additive method of modeling in Inventor. Now I'll show you how you can subtract material using a really similar process. So I'm going to right click on this extrusion and delete it. And I'm going to double click on extrusion 1 and make this a little bit bigger. So instead of extruding it 0.75 inches, I'm going to extrude it 1.5 inches. So we know that this is a little bit larger than I want. So instead of adding on that additional block, I actually want to remove this entire section and cut into that part. So the way that I can do that is by using a really similar method that I used before. Start 2D sketch, click on the plane you want to create your new sketch on, go to your rectangle tool, align it with your origin or with another corner, drag out a rectangle until it snaps to your desired dimensions, so 0.75 inches and 2.25 inches. Right-click to finish the 2D sketch, go to Extrude, and with Extrude, you don't always have to add on material. So notice as I'm adding, it turns green, but I also have this option to cut. So I can cut this, it will reverse the cut, notice it turns red, and by clicking OK, it will remove the material. So you're going to see that I have the exact same part. Now, if you want to change the color of it, you have two different options up here. You have generic, which is going to change the material, but then you might have another folded drop-down menu here, and this is what the color is. So you can scroll down until you see the color of the part that you want to use. I'm going to use orange, and that will change my part file. Thank you for watching.